demonstrations every night since the election. I know you called the protesters crybabies earlier in the week, but you've also seen this spate of incidents, racially charged incidents across the country right now. What should President-elect Trump do to get that under control?
Well, you know, first of all, I do have to ask the following. I feel very bad about that. But if those were Donald Trump people doing that after a Hillary Clinton election, I think a lot of people would be a lot more anger in the media at the fact that they're protesting a legitimately decided election. Having said that, I think we understand their frustration. We certainly don't want to make it worse. I think they're exaggerating the fears of a Donald Trump presidency because they're coming off a campaign where they're very disappointed. I'm sure our supporters would have been very disappointed had Donald Trump not won. And I just hope it calms down. Now, where it goes into violence, I have a zero tolerance for riots. I took over a city that had 2 riots in 4 years, and I had none, and they knew they couldn't riot on me. And when I saw the people in the street in New York City, I said to myself, you're breaking Giuliani's rules. You don't take my streets. You can have my sidewalks, but you don't take my streets. Because ambulances get through there, fire trucks have to get through there. People die when you crowd the streets of New York City with protesters. You can do plenty of protesting on the sidewalk. So I would ask them to please respect. I'd ask them to please respect the democratic process. I know both Secretary Clinton and President Obama were very gracious, and I respect that a lot in the way they handled it the day after, 2 days after. But I wish they would say something about it too, because after all, these are supporters of President Obama and Hillary Clinton, and maybe they could say something about this. Really not the right thing in a democracy.
Well, they've said that everybody President Obama said that everybody should root for the success of President-elect Trump. But what about those are the protesters protesting President-elect Trump? What about those Trump supporters out there? And we've seen several incidents of this with racially charged intimidation of students and things like that. Doesn't President-elect Trump have some responsibility to say something about that?
Well, they shouldn't be doing it either. But I mean, the major focus here is at least the one that I was in a couple of days ago, where they saw me in the car and they started banging on my car. So these are not. I want to amend my statement a little bit. I'm not sure these are even Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama supporters. I think these people are. Kind of like professional protesters. More, they didn't look to me like
all those protesters in all those cities professionals.
Well, yes, you gather a certain number of people around you, but they didn't look to me like people who were carefully studying political science and were all upset about the ideology of the election.
Final